Hello, my name is Linda Grosseff, Program Director for Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. And also with us this evening, Elsa Zavoda, Vice President of Programs.
Hello, everyone.
And our program team, Vicki Lowry and Miriam Lorenzo.
Hi, everyone. It's Vicki.
Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to say that as of December 1st, I will be retiring. It has been a privilege and an honor to be your MC for the VLANJ virtual programs. You may, however, hear my voice from time to time as I will be joining Vision Loss Alliance on a part-time basis. Thank you for joining us this evening. And just as a reminder, this program is being recorded. We ask that you please mute yourselves. After a few moments of quiet, we will begin. Welcome to Tech Talks, hosted by Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. Tonight, we have with us Seth Wilson, a representative from AYES. AYES was founded by 3 experienced AI engineers that are defining autonomous navigation for blind and visually impaired people. Tonight, we will learn about the OKO app. Seth Williams is a product manager and software engineer living in Tyler, Texas. He was born with optic nerve hypoplasia. In addition to his background in tech, he also holds a Master's of Arts from the University of Oxford in England. When he's not working, Seth can be found tearing up hiking trails or rolling dice in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. And this little fun fact about Seth, he has lived on 3 continents. Tonight's topic, the amazing OKO. This app provides instrumental information at pedestrian crossings. Our Zoom protocol this evening, Seth will present on the OKO app. When he is done with his presentation, he encourages questions, conversations, and sharing your experiences with OKO. When asking those questions, please use the raise your hand feature. For those of you who dialed in, the raise your hand feature is *9. That will raise your hand. *6 will mute and unmute you, giving you the opportunity to ask your question. If you're on a computer, Alt-Y, raise your hand. Alt-A is the mute and unmute command. If you're using a Mac, use the option +Y, the keyboard shortcut to raise or lower your hand. Alt+A to mute and unmute yourself. Using the Zoom app on the iPad, top right, select the More option on the top of the screen and flick down to raise your hand. On the iPhone, this feature is located at the bottom of the screen on the right-hand side. Welcome, Seth, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much, Linda. And it's such an honor to be here at your last time emceeing this event. So, really looking forward to talking to y'all tonight. As Linda said, I'm a product manager with AYES.ai, spelled AYES.ai. We're a company, originally we're based out of Belgium. Now we're based out of New York, although I myself am in Tyler, Texas. And tonight I want to talk to you about the OKO app, spelled OKO, which is a pedestrian app for autonomous navigation. So I'll keep it short, and I wanted to talk a little bit about first the history of the app and then what it does, give maybe a little demo if the tech gods smile upon me, and last but not least, give a couple of tips for using the app effectively. So as I said, my name's Seth Wilson. I'm a product manager for the app, and not only that, but I'm also, as Linda said, legally blind myself. I have optic nerve hypoplasia. So it's kind of like, if anyone remembers those old Hair Club for Men commercials from the 90s, where the guy comes on the TV and he's like, I'm not only a president of Hair Club for Men, I'm also a member. So I'm very proud to, both be working for OKO in a professional capacity, but also really use the app and benefit from it in my own life. So that's why I enjoy giving these presentations so much. So little history about the app. As I said, we got started in Belgium a couple of years ago. Our founders, Michael and William and Vincent, have a mutual friend, a blind friend named Kenny, and their friend, like a lot of us, faced the challenge of how to cross intersections safely. Audio pedestrian systems are great, but they're expensive for cities to install, and they can take a while to install, and sometimes even once they're up and running, don't work correctly. So our founders wanted to use their background in AI to figure out a way to help their friend out and give him a little bit more confidence while traveling. And so the OKO app was born. We came to the States about 6 months ago. We work with a lot of O&M professionals and other professionals in the VI field. Since coming to the States, I'm proud to announce that we've helped with well over 200,000 street crossings and growing. So that's pretty awesome. So what does the app do and how does it work? Well, it uses artificial intelligence and the rear camera of your iPhone. It is iPhone only for the moment. But it uses your camera and AI to translate the visual input from from regular pedestrian systems, the traditional crosswalks that have the red hand for don't walk, the kind of white walking man for walk, and the red hand with a countdown timer for hurry up, basically. Anyway, it translates those visual signals into various forms of feedback that us blind and VI folks can use. So at this point, I think I'm gonna attempt to give a brief demo for those of you with some vision. I'm pulling up my iPhone screen to the left of your view. If you have no vision, it's all good because this is not going to be a very visual demo. In fact, it's going to be a mostly audio demo. So the way the app works is you approach an intersection in the usual way using cane or guide dog. Open the OKO app. You can open it either manually, as I'm doing here. You can also open it with Siri, which I'm not going to do, so I don't want to trigger Siri on any of y'all's phones. And once you open the app and have pointed your phone at a pedestrian signal, you will get immediate audio feedback, like so. I'm having trouble pointing this properly, apparently. There we go. So you'll get a slow beep like that when it's not safe to cross. It's kind of steady beep, and when the walk signal appears, you'll get a steadier beep. Along with the beeps, you also get some haptic feedback, meaning your phone vibrates to the same cadence as those beeps. So if your phone's vibrating slowly, it means the don't walk signal is displayed. If it vibrates quickly, it means the walk signal is displayed. And there's kind of an irregular kind of staccato pattern that is used both audio and vibration when the countdown timer is going. In addition to that, if you have some vision, the app, as some of you might have noticed, will also show a green or red indicator, respectively, for walking and not walking. So the app really caters to blind, low vision, even with the vibration, also caters to deafblind, but not only deafblind, right? Traffic is loud, and so it's possible that using the app and being out and about, you may not be able to hear your phone's speakers that well. So the vibration is just another form of input. So that's really what the app does. In a nutshell, it does one thing and it does it really well. But I kind of want to give some tips on how to use it effectively and get the most out of your experience with OKO. This is the point where I usually say, OKO is not a replacement for your O&M skills, your cane skills, or your guide dog skills. things like that. Those are still really important because, as I said, the OKO app does one thing. It interprets the pedestrian crossing visual signal into things that we can use. It doesn't, can't tell you if a car is coming or can't tell you if there's a pothole in the way. So using your O&M skills is still really important. So I'll just throw that caveat out there. So, as I said, using the app, the way that I like to use it and the way that we recommend people to use it is, as I said, approaching an intersection in the usual way, feeling the truncated domes with your cane, or your guide dog stops at the curb like a good boy or girl. And once you're at the intersection, let's say you're crossing the street in front of you and the parallel street is to your right. What I recommend doing is kind of holding your phone screen facing you towards your chest, even against your chest. This will kind of stabilize your phone and have it pointing in roughly the right height, and then kind of rotating your body. So again, your parallel street is to your right. If you kind of open the app and then rotate to the right, the first pedestrian signal that the app finds will be the street you want to cross.
My headphones on, please.
That kind of guarantees that you'll find the intersection you want to cross rather than the parallel street. So starting from the opposite direction of the parallel street, kind of rotating your body, because if the app is silent, it means that it has not yet found the pedestrian crossing. So you can use that information to your advantage. So as soon as you start hearing the beeping, you're pointed in the right direction. Another cool thing about that is, you can either cross the street as soon as you start hearing the fast beep, assuming it's otherwise safe to go. And you can close the app at that point, but you can also leave it open and kind of keep holding your phone at chest level, because one problem that I have and other folks have as well is I have a tendency to veer off as I'm crossing the street and not be pointed in a straight line, and obviously that's not safe for a variety of reasons. So that same principle of the app being silent when it's not pointed at a pedestrian crossing can be used while crossing the street to keep us aligned and going the right direction. If the app falls silent, you've veered off one way or the other, and you need to get yourself realigned. And once you start hearing the beeping again, you're good to go. So that's really how the app works. Couple other cool things about it: it does all the AI stuff on the device itself. It doesn't, send any of the info to the internet, at least not for the data processing, which means that this app will work great in areas with spotty cell coverage, like here in East Texas, or even you could even use it in airplane mode if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but it is a possibility. So that's pretty cool. I mean, having said that, we do collect data, especially if a crossing didn't go as you expected. You can send us feedback, and we definitely welcome that, because we use that feedback to improve and make the app even better. So that's pretty neat. The app is free on the App Store. Again, it's spelled OKO and is completely free. We intend to keep it that way because we want as many people as possible to use it. And if you enjoy using the app, if you'd leave a review in the App Store, that would help us out. And also, we'd love feedback. I'm definitely open personally to feedback. Seth.Wilson@AYES.ai is my email address. Vicky and Linda also have my contact info. So if any of y'all, I'm about to open it up for questions, but if you think of something after the meeting and think, oh shoot, I wish I'd asked this, or you want to share something, I'm definitely open. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's all I got. At this point, yeah, I would love to open it up for questions and geek out about pedestrian stuff.
So questions. Matthew, you can unmute yourself, please.
So, I love this app. When you came on a couple months ago, I loved using this, especially on Sunday mornings when it's very quiet. The only thing, the one in the street corner, I did send you feedback. It wouldn't work at the one traffic light in my town.
Interesting. Yeah, I love that you make the point about the app being useful when it's quiet. That's when I use it a lot too. People, fully sighted folks, tend to assume that heavy traffic times are the most difficult for us blind folks, but for me and for a lot of others, we find that it's a lot more challenging in low traffic times because we don't have as much feedback about when it's safe to cross.
It's
As for
just like sometimes I walk to the hardware store, walk to the bagel store, it's like very quiet on Sundays.
Yeah, that makes sense. As for the light that didn't work, I don't know. You're definitely welcome to contact me. We can troubleshoot it offline maybe. One thing I even do, and I have a little site, but I will sometimes take a photograph of the pedestrian system myself so that I can share the photo with friends or family or someone who can tell what's going on with it. Maybe like, for example, there's one light, one system here, one corner that the signal was just out. It was not functioning, and thanks to adding I took a picture and sent it to someone, and they're like, "Oh, the light's out," and so we got a hold of the city, and they fixed it. So yeah, stuff like that. We're definitely thinking of ways to streamline that kind of
And
thing because it does happen.
hopefully soon the county's gonna put a talking one in.
Yeah.
But thank you again.
You're most welcome, and thanks for the feedback and question.
Thanks, Matthew. Next up, we have Vincent. Hi, Vincent. Vincent, you want to unmute yourself, please?
Thank you very much. I was talking, didn't realize that nobody was here.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Linda. I'm sure you will enjoy it, but we'll miss you. It's great. Everything.
I'll be around a little bit. Thanks.
My question is the following. So, recognizing the signal for the application to recognize a signal does not require permission from a city. It's totally independent from that.
Yeah, it doesn't require permission from a city. I mean, it's just think of the app. The app isn't doing anything different fundamentally than a sighted person's eyeballs would do. I mean, the sighted person with good vision is seeing that signal and saying, okay, now it's showing not safe to cross. Now it's showing safe to cross. The app is just as I think someone said, Linda might have said earlier, bridging the gap. That gap between sight and blindness. It's just kind of doing what a sighted person would do. So just as they don't need permission from the city, our app doesn't either.
Okay, and my other question is concerning the signal itself. I believe that there are some pedestrian signs that have a robot or an image, and others have the actual words "walk" or "don't walk," and and then some change to countdown.
Right.
Does the app work with all of those?
So the app will work. It will work with the kind of the red hand, white walking person, and it will work with the countdown. It does not work with the ones that actually show the words "walk" and "don't walk." And kind of the reason for that is that those are, at least from my understanding, working with the developers, those are being phased out, and so it takes a lot of takes a lot of work and effort to have the app train to recognize these different signals. So we just at least at the moment didn't feel like it was worth investing time and money and training on a kind of signal that is going away essentially.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. We have another question. Ward.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because my voiceover was on. Let me shut that off. Okay. I've used it. I didn't have any instructions really on it. I got it from the app and mobility instructor. I read a little bit on it through the deafblind listserv. But what I always kept it on like when I'm walking. I didn't just put it on at the curb, and that sometimes helps you locate your crossing. Sometimes like I'll put the phone in my pocket and I'll hear it start saying, it'll start vibrating even when I'm getting close to the street crossing, even if I didn't get to the the bumpy the truncated domes, it'll by lining me up. I just don't know if it's meant to do that, but it does sometimes vibrate and helps you get to the lineup with the crossing. If you have it on, even while you're just walking down the street, it's not going to do anything until it sees something.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And we are rolling out. I'm not quite sure what the status of it is, but we are rolling out changes that will use your GPS to kind of detect if you're approaching an intersection, especially one that you've crossed before, to, as you said, kind of give some early feedback about the intersection that you're approaching. So yeah, I myself usually open it when I get to the intersection, but yeah, some folks, as you said, do just kind of leave it running. It is a little, especially on older iPhones, can be a little bit battery hungry. So that's the only caveat there.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ward.
you.
Ashley,
So now I'm muted
you're up next.
Hi.
and now lowered.
Hello.
You can hear me, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I wasn't sure how sensitive this mic was. It's a different device. Yeah, thank you for presenting. I also have low vision, and I don't usually use smart devices, although I've started to learn them. Just because like a touch screen is so sensitive to what you touch.
Yes.
That's the hang up for me. Anyway, therefore, my first question is, can it work with another small device, like on the OKO app? That I mean, does it work with like say an iPad or another small device that has a camera?
That's a great question. That's not something I've thought about. I'm sure, our founders and developers have thought about that, but it's not, iOS is, Apple's software is flexible enough that I like on an iPad mini or something like that. I would assume it would work, but I don't know. I'm gonna follow up. In fact, I might break out my iPad after this and try it, try it out.
Yeah, I would guess it might work on a mini. I was just curious because I usually use iPads more than phones nowadays. Anyway, so this is an interesting app. I was also wondering, as another speaker here said, there are different types of like signaling devices. Some of them tell you like some of them count down and some of them just flash a hand. I've heard when you're close to the end of your time. So I guess my question is there any difference in how the app works? Like, for example, if it counts down your time, will it like tell you how much time you have left, or tell you anything additional, because sighted people usually see that because that signal changes. Sometimes I can see it, sometimes I can't. So a mobility instructor actually told me what it looked like. Anyway, because my vision varies depending on like the atmosphere and the lighting around me outside.
Yeah, so that's a good question. The count, it will, as I said, it will kind of, the screen will flash yellow and the beeping rhythm will change to kind of indicate that there's a countdown timer. However, it will, at least at the current moment, will not, tell you how long you have left. And so, yeah, what I recommend, and I'm really impressed with the gentleman before who, just read about the app and used it, yeah, sight unseen, as it were. I recommend either trying the app. What I did personally was I tried the app at intersections that I knew I was comfortable with at first, to kind of trust but verify, if you will, just to make sure that the app was accurate, because at those intersections I knew the traffic patterns, so I knew the app would be reliable once it worked at those. Or sometimes people will do it with an O&M instructor at first. So one thing I might recommend is, if you're unsure about the countdown time, is I still do this often, both before and after using the OKO, is just stand at the corner for a cycle and wait for a cycle to go through. So I learn what the pattern is. I had an O&M instructor when I was a kid who said, it's better to lose a moment of your life than to lose your life in a moment. And that's always stuck with me. So I always remember that when they're like, oh, I don't want to spend a minute standing here at this street corner looking weird. But on the other hand, I'd like to not get hit by a car either.
Yeah, absolutely good advice to remember. Just like listening to a cycle might be helpful, or asking someone about it. Yeah, and my last question was, anyways, there are some big streets in my area, and some with like complicated layouts, like islands, for example, or split lanes. So my question is, does the app work well to detect the light even if it's further away, because the road is so large, like maybe like a 3-lane street? Does it tell you that you're coming to an island or anything like that, or an arrow if you're veering and get sort of out of your crossing area?
Yeah, so as to the street size, the app works under, so I'll say first that the app works best in daylight, in good weather conditions. It doesn't perform quite as well at night, or if there's a lot of rain or snow coming down, it's harder for it to see the intersection. But under optimal conditions, it will work across an 8-lane street. So in terms of the size of the street, that's not a problem. But in terms of the islands and things like that, or another group I talked to asked about roundabouts, which are all kinds of weird.
I had the same question too, like islands or roundabouts.
Yeah, so we're thinking about that. We're wanting to plan features around somehow providing some sort of audio feedback about describing the intersection in more detail, but it's not there yet. But stay tuned.
Okay, well, thank you. I do like your idea of trying to integrate it with sort of other apps that can pick up information, like a GPS app like Blind Square or something like that, that a lot of people use, I've heard.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad that future updates are coming. That'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. Any other questions? Comments? Who has used the OKO app? Anyone?
I have a quick question. What happens with the delayed green, for example?
Sorry, the delayed green?
That's with the turning arrow.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't take into account arrows and turn turn indicators. So that's why I say, using O&M skills is good. Like for myself, what I'll do is, if I'm about to cross, I'll wave. Another O&M instructor taught me this, is just kind of wave my cane out in front of me 2 or 3 times to indicate like, hey, I'm about to cross the street.
Now,
but
how do you change it from the talking to the beeping?
you can go into settings and do that. There's a in the upper right hand corner, voiceover will announce that you're in settings, and you can change. Let's see. Oh, it's not playing the sound, but yeah, but it will announce settings, and then
Alright,
there's
thank
audio feedback. There's also, so on my app, I actually have the camera is off, but you can actually have the camera show what's in front of it, things like that. So there's a lot of settings you can tweak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ashley?
Audio now unmuted. Meeting tools.
Yeah.
And now lowered.
Okay. I'm on, hopefully.
You're good.
Yeah, I thought of a few more questions. Okay, so you said it doesn't work as well like at dusk and nighttime because it needs light around you. My question was, yeah, what about like partly cloudy days then? And or does it work most optimally when it's sort of partly sunny or fully sunny?
I mean, partly cloudy, any level of sunshine or even fully overcast, should be fine. Yeah, the more light, the better, as with human eyes. But I guess the only caveat to that, or kind of consideration, is, just like us, it doesn't like glare. So if the sun's shining right on it, that might be a problem. I mean, one solution to that is that you can, if it is a really bright and sunny day, you kind of hold your hand over your phone, like not blocking the camera, but kind of like pretend like your phone's wearing a hat with a big bill to kind of block out some of the glare. But yeah, glare could potentially be a problem. I haven't experienced it, but I imagine anyway.
Oh, I see. Okay. And does it have like a limit on the amount of times like it'll work, or I mean like per day or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. Like I said, we plan to keep the app free and unrestricted, so there's no gotchas like that at all. Yeah.
Oh, good. So if you needed to like have it work on like 10 intersections, that would be possibly feasible.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in New York City in June and really kind of put it through its paces in Manhattan and Brooklyn, and no problem. I mean, again, the only theoretical limit is like your battery of your phone.
I see. Okay, thank you then.
You're most
Thanks,
welcome. Thank
Ashley.
you. Thanks for the questions.
Stacy, you're up with a question. Stace, unmute yourself. There
Hey,
you go.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Got loud and clear.
Okay, my question is, does it work on a smartwatch if a person has a smartwatch?
Not at the moment. But we'd
And
love to.
you said it might work on iPad minis, but you weren't sure if it worked on regular iPads?
It might. I'm not even sure about the mini. I have not tried it myself, but I have a regular iPad, so I plan to try it, after we
Because
get
I
off
have a
this
regular
call.
iPad, but my mom has an iPad mini and a smartwatch.
Yeah,
And I think eventually she has to replace her phone because it sometimes acts like it's not holding a charge.
Goodness, yeah, that's frustrating.
I think it's a 6, because it has a home button and a headphone jack.
So the app will only work on iPhones 8 and up. So
Okay.
yeah, it won't work on the 6, unfortunately.
But you said it might work on the mini, but you weren't sure. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Although.
But if it's like 8 and up, you said.
Mhm.
Okay, so that might work. Let's see. That might work on Elizabeth or Elise's phone. They're coming on the weekend. That's what I'm just. I like to play games on people sometimes because I'm one of 6, so I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and my 2 great nephews are coming for a visit so they've never dealt with me really. The last time I saw Andrew, he was crawling.
So
Aw.
Stacy, when you have that big get together with all your relatives, I expect to see you in the center of Denville with that OKO app.
Yes.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know about Denver. I don't know about Denver, but definitely the hotel.
Okay. Vincent, thank you, Stacy. Vincent, you have a question?
Bueller.
Vincent? Vincent, you are muted. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay,
There you
because
go.
I didn't have a mute button. There was a lady that was asking about using other devices such as an iPad or even a mini. My suggestion, even if it is possible to do that, is not to do it. I was in a conversation not too long ago with a group of people, and they were using their phone in a public place, and somebody was passed by and took the phone away. So if you have, I like the idea of holding the phone close to the chest because, at least there is some kind of protection that everybody's seeing. You don't have your arm extended. But if you're using an iPad, it might be asking for trouble. I mean, there are a lot of good people around, but there are some others that aren't that much. And especially if you're in a larger city, places, I don't know, like, New York, I mean, any large city for that matter, that may not be, because of the amount of people crossing the streets, that may not be a very good option, because even if they don't take it away from you, they can bump into you if people are not looking many times, and it could, drop on the ground and damage it. So my suggestion would be that, if at all possible, just stick to a device like the phone itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that in another 5 years or for however long it takes that this is like built into, Apple's already announced the Vision Pro for virtual. Like, I'm hoping this is built into like a very slim pair of eyewear of some sort that, kind of like the Orcam My Eye that just slip on your face. And because like us, even with the phone, us blind and visually impaired folks, either with a cane or a guide dog, we're short of hand, right? Like, I wish we could have a surgery to have a third arm grafted sometimes. It's like, so between having your cane or dog and holding your phone, you're already, hands are tied up. There are out there, and I haven't tried them. There are lanyards you can get that will you kind of wear them around your neck and will hold your phone kind of at chest level. Again, I haven't tried any of them yet, but that is something that is an option.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
The fascinating app. Do we have any other questions, comments?
Oh, the audio now unmuted.
Yeah, I do. Can you, I think you might have said this, but can you repeat what software you need? I mean, there's several versions of iOS and Android. So like what version would you need to be able to take advantage of the app?
So I will say that unfortunately, currently we don't support Android.
Oh, I
Just
didn't
'cause
know that.
we're a small team, and part of the reason for that is that, as I said, this does all the AI stuff directly on device, and most Android phones, until recently anyway, just haven't been powerful enough to do that. Although some of the Google had an I/O announcement, a few months ago, and some of their newer devices do have machine learning on on device. So we're hoping to come to Android because obviously we'd like to help as many blind VI folks as possible.
That'd be
So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully that will be coming soon. But in terms of iPhone, I believe it's iOS 10. As I said, we support all the way back to the iPhone 8, so which came out in 2017. So any device newer than that is supported. But yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you clarified. So pretty new iPhones in this case. And yeah, like the other person, I think her name was Stacy. It would be great if you all could do support for like a smartwatch in the future too.
Yeah, that would be neat, although at least the Apple Watches don't have cameras currently. So since we're using camera data, that wouldn't be possible. Although I know some of the other, I think there are a couple of smartwatches out there that do have cameras. So like I said, I mean the holy grail for me would be to just have a pair of shades or a pair of frames that I just wear over my eyes that just magically tell me when the light changes.
Like the OrCam technology, that would be ideal. But the only caveat to that is I'll say is that wow, that sounds ideal. Most people probably, I think I speak for a lot of people on here, are on fixed incomes and we can't really afford the like OrCam and things and expensive things like that. Whereas a phone is more affordable, in the hundreds, not the thousands.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway,
that's kind of it's a dream, right? I'm saying, like Apple, Apple has their Vision Pro thing coming out next year, and as you said, it's thousands of dollars, but another 5 or 10 years when they get the technology better, and as always, price comes down on things, and so that's my hope for the future.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, the audio now unmuted.
Stace, do you have a question about the OKO app? Stacy?
Okay, I'm sorry. It took me a minute to find the mute button. Supposedly Google has glasses out, supposedly.
They did have Google Glass for a while. That was a thing. Those themselves were discontinued, but there's a lot of companies doing AR stuff these days. So
I think I tried the Gago thing, but I thought they were too heavy.
Yeah, that's the problem with
They were
a lot of
supposed to be
these
like
now.
virtual glass, some sort of virtual glass, and I thought they felt like goggles to me.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one that was supposed to like clip to the lenses, like to the frame?
Yeah,
The
I
only
don't
thing
know.
I see about that is, wouldn't you be afraid of it like falling off?
That's the beauty of the OKO app. It's on your
Right.
phone. You could get the lanyard and it's ready to go.
Would it work with Alexa? Because I have Alexa built into my phone.
But Alexa doesn't go with you.
Yes, it does. It's built into my phone.
It works with Siri though. You can tell Siri to open the OKO app.
Okay.
Alexa might too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
have to try it.
I'd be curious.
Yeah, I have to try it.
Any other questions or comments about this OKO app? Well, I hope all of you, have really learned a lot from this and that you work on your mobility skills first, of course, as always, and then try this app because it could really be helpful.
Yeah,
So-
thank you all for your time and attention, and please feel free to get in touch with me.
We will definitely send your information out to everyone. And Seth, thank you so much for joining us this evening and sharing this wonderful app with us, with our group. It is a free app, can be found, as Seth said, on the App Store. And this is Tech Talk. So remember, we have a VLANJ Tech Talks Facebook page. And then, of course, all of these programs, all of our enrichment opportunities will always go on our VLANJ YouTube channel.
Wow, YouTube famous.
Have a good night, everyone.
So Seth, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and your knowledge about sharing with this app.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Seth.
See
Good
y'all
night,
soon.
everyone.
Good night.
Have a
Everyone,
good night, everyone.
stay well.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.